Yeah, back again, 2020.
2020, man. It's looking hella interesting at the moment.
Yeah,
Everything that's been going on. So many topics to touch on, which is absolutely crazy. I'm going to turn this echo off because it's actually sounding a bit weird. But yeah, no, so many things, bro. So many things. Good to be back on the podcast. First off, you know what I mean?
yeah. It's been ages, hasn't it? I think last time we recorded it was October.
Yeah,
It just seems like a long time ago now. But yeah, I think this is a great time to reflect. Really, I think we're only in March still, but I think everything that's happened this year, I think it's a good time to sort of look back and say, it's been a crazy year so far, and try to have some hope going forward. Really,
yeah. Because right
you
now
know,
it's looking quite bleak, ain't it?
it is looking bleak. It's looking very, very bleak, and I don't think anyone sort of envisioned, stepping into 2020 that would have all these sort of events kind of accumulate so quickly as well. It's just been, it's like walking into a nightmare. That's what I thought, to be honest. Honestly, it's like you walk into 2020, as soon as it hits 12 o'clock, January 1st, and then you never thought this would happen. It's like,
Not
it's like one incident after another, and you're thinking, how have we become so unlucky?
No, I mean, like for me, like walking into 2020, the year before, you're hearing loads of people, like especially if you're Christian and you go church and that, you're hearing,
Mm.
oh yeah, 2020, the year of perfect vision, and the vision of this and the vision of that, and then the clock strikes 12, you're into 2020, you shoot a couple of text messages out to people, you receive some back, and then you're thinking, yeah, man, it's about to go off. You know what I mean? We're about to, have a good one. You know what I mean? A whole new decade, all the hype around all that kind of stuff as well. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
exactly.
yeah, a new decade, it's 2020, we're all some of us were gonna be 30. Yeah, we're gonna enjoy
Not
life.
like you,
You know
or
what I mean? Well, yeah, like me. Still feel like I'm 29, so it's cool with it. You know what I mean? So we're thinking, yeah, it's all gonna go off and that, and then, boom. Like I think the first bit of news that rocked me was Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? So that was like the first thing. You know what I mean? And I was thinking, oh snap, like that's such a shame. I was disheartened. Thinking of sporting icon, a legend. You know what I mean? And you're just thinking, man, how's that gone on and happened? You know what I mean? And his daughter as well. So you're just thinking,
yeah.
it's a mess. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. I think for me personally, again, I'm not a massive basketball fan, so I don't really follow the sport as much. However, I think when you talk about Kobe Bryant, he's an icon. He's a household name. So even if you don't follow NBA, you still know who the guy is. And he wasn't just known for his achievements on the court, but I think in terms of his outlook on life and his positivity as well, that was what drove a lot of people.
yeah,
You see a
man,
lot of
number
quotes that he's
three.
made, in the past that people still live to by this day. You
Yeah,
know, so when I first heard the news, I think I heard it on Twitter, and I think somebody, I don't know, I saw his name trending, and I kind of thought, okay, because I know he congratulated
LeBron.
LeBron James about the points tally the day before, and I thought maybe people were just talking about that still, but then I heard ESPN tweet that he died in a plane or a helicopter crash, and I was shocked. Like I've not been that shocked in a long, long time. I think we'll talk about other events obviously coming up, but I think to that point in 2020, I had not been shocked about anything,
I think the only
for a
time
long,
I've
long
been
time, to be
like
honest.
that
It was random.
was Aaliyah dying. I remember where I was and everything when
Yeah.
Aaliyah died. So that was like the callback memory where it's like, oh man, I've been shocked like that since that happened. You know what I mean?
So even Michael Jackson done in 2009, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah, that was
That was a massive shock for everybody as well. But I think Kobe's was so random, and um, it just hit everybody so hard. I think again the guy, to just sort of die in those circumstances was, it was just shocking really to have somebody that young. Really, I think he had a new baby recently as well. Not just thinking about him, but also his family, like his new family, his very young family. How they're going to feel about everything.
yeah, no, it's crazy,
It's
crazy.
crazy. So
You
yeah,
know,
I agree with you. Like it's not been a great start to the year, to be honest.
not at all, not at all. You know what I mean? And then, that I don't remember. Was that in January when he died? Right, late January.
I think late January. Yeah, late
Yeah,
January.
late January.
Yeah.
So that was something, you know what I mean? And that was just like, oh my goodness, I know folks which are big fans of Kobe, they couldn't eat or sleep for a little while. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was the guy. Like, even though they didn't know him on a like first name basis with one another, but they knew him from afar and had built a real, distant relationship, so to speak. You know what I mean? And then we go on, and then the rest of the year's going and all that other stuff, and then boom, one of our friends, our brothers, who has also been on the podcast at least maybe 2 or 3 times,
Mm,
then we get the news. I remember where I was. I come back from football, and I'm just chilling. Got the football on the TV as well, and I'm just chilling, just waiting, just to go in the
mm,
shower and that, because the game was quite entertaining. I think Tottenham was playing, and then I was just thinking, like, bro, like, why is, like, someone just messaged me and was like, "Yo, have you heard?" That's like, what? That's like a random message to say straight away. And then
mm,
I get a phone call, and then I'm on the phone with one of our mutual friends, and then he's like, "Yo, like, have you heard?" Thinking, what? Why is everyone saying, "Have I heard?" Like, what's going on? And then they're like, "Oh, check Facebook." Like, okay, cool. So I launched Facebook, and the first thing is our dear brother and friend had passed away, and I'm thinking, wow, that's mad. I literally spoke to him on Tuesday. You know what I mean?
mm.
Like, literally just a Tuesday that gone. And we was just talking about his company and what he was doing and everything else. So it was just like, man, like, no one saw that coming a few days later. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And,
yeah,
although he did sound like he wasn't so well when I spoke to him, but it sounded like he had it all under control, so
yeah, yeah.
that was a bit random for the Saturday.
Shocking.
Yeah, Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon. It was just like, boom, he's not here no
Mm,
more. And then you're like,
mm.
mate,
Yeah,
what?
I think Daniel's always, again, I've not met him too many times, but I think I've always met him through the podcast, and he's always been a very good guest, to what we're doing. And I think on both of those occasions, very nice guy,
Yeah,
very mellow, very nice guy, very knowledgeable as well, talks a lot of sense. And again, it's just to have somebody, again, was very close to you, but to have somebody, you know, a good guy like he was, to sort of suddenly pass away like that. Even though you might have said, okay, maybe he wasn't too well, but at the same time, you just never think that it's gonna turn
nah,
out this way.
not like
You
that,
think
man.
that, okay, well,
Not like
not
that.
like that. You think that he's gonna make it through. He's gonna get better eventually. But I just feel like, again, when it comes to shocks, you can't prepare for shocks.
No, not
It's
at all.
like you might know, okay, something's about to happen, but even when it hits you, it's still a massive shock.
Yeah,
And
same
you
way.
know, it just kind of it. I don't know. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like being, you know, I don't know really. It's like when you get hit with shock initially, you can't. Your whole day just stops. You can't do anything. You
Tell it.
can't. You can't move forward. You can't eat. Appetite's gone. You lose focus for a long time as well. Um, it's shocking, really, to be honest. Yeah, it's one of those things you can't really put into too many words.
Not at all. You can't. I mean,
Uh,
what else can you say, really?
apart from shocking, it's like, what else
That's
can you
it.
say about it?
It's like, if you can't feel it, then there's no point trying to explain it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's one of those
yeah.
things which can only be felt but not explained. So,
Mm,
like, if you knew him, you would know exactly what I mean. You know what
mm,
I mean? When you heard the news, we all mutually felt the same thing. But can
mm,
we explain it to someone else, unless someone else has also gone through that? Probably
mm.
not. You know what I
Yeah, you
mean?
can't.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's one of those ones, and
Mm,
then, like, with that happening, so
mm,
you're thinking, oh snap, okay, Kobe's gone, our brother Daniel's gone.
mm.
you know we're then, a week later, we're out. We went to
I
escape
think was it exactly 1 week, wasn't it?
literally literally
Exactly 1 week. Yeah.
exactly 1 week later, 7 days on the dot. We're out chilling, gone to escape room with friends and family. We've then gone out for a lunch after that. We're literally just enjoying life, making jokes, what I mean? Was at the restaurant, was just cracking up, saying silly things, also imparting knowledge and all this other stuff, and we then get the news that our family member now, you know,
Mm,
has then passed away, and he's also
mhm.
been on the podcast, even though it was like very, very brief, what I mean?
Yeah,
You would have heard, maybe a 45-second, segment
I
of
think
him.
it's a bit longer. I think 2 minutes probably. I think
Maybe.
I'll say 2 minutes.
But he was there, and like, where was you when you heard that?
Well, I remember because I was at home. I think that time was actually getting ready to go to my other cousin's house.
Yeah,
I think KG, who was on a podcast with us before,
yeah,
going to see him. because I think his sister recently gave birth, so we're going
Right.
to
Yeah.
visit the new baby and stuff. So I remember my mum was in the kitchen making food as always on a Saturday afternoon, you know, getting ready to take it over there. And I was watching, I think that time there was a football match, and I think it was Brighton against Crystal Palace. Because these things you can't remember little details and stuff,
Yeah. Little details.
small things. So especially Brighton against Crystal Palace. And Jordan Ayew actually scored at that exact time we got the phone call, which was weird. So yeah, I remember I was sitting there and my mum's phone rang in the sitting room, and that time my dad was watching the TV with me, so he was closest to the phone and he answered it. And it was one of my aunties who was pretty close to the family as well. Is pretty close to family. She called and she was just screaming on the phone. So initially you can't really tell what she's saying
Not at all.
because all you hear is shouting and crying and stuff. And then my dad's just trying to he's just trying to get a hold of, like, who is this talking? Like, what are you talking about? And then eventually, when he could figure out what she was saying, she said that, Evans has been in a car accident and he's died on the spot. And at that time, it was kind of like, what do you mean? Like, what's going on? It was a bit confusing to me, to be honest. I didn't know what to make of it. My dad was sitting there confused. I was sitting there confused.
Everyone was confused, to be
Yeah, I
fair.
was confused.
Everyone.
And then I passed the phone to my mum, and she's talking to my auntie, and she's again trying to understand what she's saying. She finally gets a hold of it. Well, I kind of tell her what she's trying to say anyway. She finally understands, and then she says, "You know what? Just put the phone down. Put the phone down. Um, I'll try and call you back." But she didn't understand anything either.
Mm.
Yeah, because she was cooking and she was a bit confused. She was like, "What do you mean? Like, what were you talking about?" She just thought maybe he had an accident or something.
Yeah.
That he wasn't dead. She just thought, "Okay, he's been in an accident. Okay, I'm still a bit confused, but okay, he's been in an accident." And I think that's when I called you. I think you called me
I
actually.
called you. Yeah, I
You think
called
you called
you.
me? Yeah, you called. Yeah,
Yeah.
you called me and you explained what was happening. I remember you saying to me, "It's like I kept saying to you, I'm a bit confused. I don't know what you mean. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know. I can hear what you're saying, but I just don't understand what you're saying. It's not processed in my mind." And you're like, "Listen, he's died. He's died." And yeah, from that moment, I don't know. I don't know. There were so many things go from my head. It was like how, why. Um, Again, even trying to, because even saying it now, Evans is dead doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It
It
still
doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make sense.
So initially when you get hit with shock that way, you're just trying to, you're just trying to figure out how you're moving forward there. So I tried to call other cousins as well, and then eventually we all met up on that afternoon and went to see the family. And I think even now, I think has it been 3 weeks?
Yeah,
Probably about
thereabouts.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks, and
I think going on into the fourth. Yeah.
fourth week, yeah, we're still trying to get to grips with all of it, So yeah, it's just the sad thing is that, you know, even a couple of years before, someone in that family died as well, which is pretty,
Yeah.
it's pretty intense
It's
for
pretty
everybody
recent
involved.
as well. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's only 3 years,
Yeah.
so you're just suddenly thinking, how's this happening? Or again, all you're thinking about is again, again, again. And yeah, it's been a tough time for a lot of us this year, to be honest. We've not had the news we want to get. It's been, nightmare after nightmare. Not just, again, looking at Kobe Bryant, but I think personally as well, we've had people who we know go through a lot of struggles this year.
Mm.
And you just kind of ask yourself, how do people move forward from it? Like, what hope do you see this year going forward?
I mean,
where's the light?
the light is that the rest of the year there's still a solid
It's
9
still early,
months to
isn't it?
play out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is hope. Surely if it starts off this bad, the only way up from here, the only way, from the ground floor is up, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
surely there has got to be light at the end of the tunnel, but let's hope it's not a train. You know what I mean? I've been waiting to sneak that one in since you said that.
It's true. It's true. It's true. It's like, again, you said that. You listen. The only way is up from a lift, but if the lift's broken, then there's a long wait till the lift gets fixed again.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, this year could be
So
a write-off. It could just be like,
yeah,
boom, this is it, and maybe nothing happens from here, and it's just gonna be, we're just gonna keep going the way we've been going, and that's the rest of the year. But
but it's
I
like
think
even then, we've had to deal with. Sorry to cut you off there.
no, you're good.
I think even now we've had to deal with the coronavirus. That's what we're currently battling at the moment, and that's not just something that me and you are going through, but something that the whole world's going through at the moment.
That's
That
right.
every country's trying to battle. So in the midst of what's happened, from January until March, we've now got a situation where a health crisis is taking over the world, which could last potentially, a few months or maybe a year,
Yeah.
as some experts have sort of warned that it could last until. So, I mean, coronavirus, I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it became so aggressive. I don't know how it killed so many people in
Came
such
from
a
China.
short space of time. Chinese people, yeah. But I don't think, listen, I think we've enjoyed their food in the past, haven't we? So we can't really sort
I can't wait to eat it
of,
again. I'm not
we
even
can't
gonna lie.
sort of, we can't sort of blame them too much. But I think, yeah, as you said, it's come from China. We don't know how it, I don't know, what was it? Was it food they ate, or was it like an experiment gone wrong,
Dude,
or?
there's so many theories behind it where you can't even really
Mm,
say what is correct. You know what I mean? Like there's
mm.
theories of animals being stacked on top of one another, and
Oh,
they all
wow.
have like infectious diseases, and then another animal catches this disease which is not meant for that particular animal, and then it's transferred to a human who's bought that animal, and then they've eaten it, then they've
Yeah.
bought that disease and they've spread it. And there's so many things. There's the story about the lab. Someone's created this virus in the lab and then somehow it's escaped the lab. I mean, there's, these things, like everyone's going to come up with their theory.
Have they come out? Have they come out and said like what they feels, what China feels, if it was the exact cause of it, or?
Honestly, if they have, I don't remember it because all I remember is everything else,
Mm.
people are saying. Because, every day on WhatsApp, or maybe not even, it's
I
probably
think
more
WhatsApp,
than
you're right.
every
Yeah.
day. Everyone
Mm.
is sending like something totally different, a
Yeah,
whole
mum's
different,
very guilty of that. Mum sends me a lot of content through WhatsApp
yeah.
regarding coronavirus. Some of it is just funny stuff. Other is like speculation about the total amount of cases happening right now. So,
The worst thing
um,
that could have happened is parents getting WhatsApp. I'm telling you.
yeah, you're right.
You
You're right.
know what
You
I
know
mean?
what? I was telling her, it's like you guys they get past videos every single day.
So,
I mean, the amount of videos and pictures they send to each other. Yeah, I think she's got about 10 group chats on her phone,
mate, they're
and the
content
videos, yeah,
hoarders, boy.
literally. I'm thinking, how have you guys got the time to? I don't know where they get it from it in the first place, where they get all these videos from, these pictures, but they're very, very active on there, to be honest.
Yeah, imagine if they got onto like Instagram or something.
So I think some of them are actually on Instagram right now.
Jeez, boy.
You know what I mean? So I think they've taken over. I think Facebook. They took over Facebook. They're now taking over WhatsApp, and potentially Instagram could be the next platform they sort of target. Really, to be honest.
It's
But
good.
look, it's good that it keeps them in touch with people, doesn't it?
I mean, I ain't complaining. It's good. You know what I mean?
Mm, mm.
It's good. I mean, let's hope the rest of the year, we progress, we go up. I mean, we definitely, condolences to everybody out there who's
Yeah.
lost someone this far. If you, even if you, like, condolences if you've caught the virus,
Mm. A
and
speedy
all
recovery.
others, speedy recovery on that end. We're wishing everybody, better, in every aspect. If you've lost your job because of the coronavirus, because you've been laid off, we hope, that you are promoted, you find another job that's better than the job you've got, and things like that.
Yeah. I think in
Let's,
this situation now, it's just about looking at the positive, isn't it?
yeah,
Because
man,
nothing can get worse than it is now. If you've been laid off, nothing can get even worse. If you've caught this, if you've caught the illness, the only way is to get better.
that's right.
So,
Yeah,
as you said before, the only way we can look is up.
that's it.
Every bad endings are temporary, aren't they? Because eventually, one way or another, they're gonna pass. It's gonna get better.
That's right.
So,
That's
trying to keep that positive outlook on life is very, very important. But I think also a big props to the NHS staff and
big up, big
the
up.
key workers who work every single day, no matter what the occasion is, no matter what time of year it is. If it's snowing, I mean, you've got cleaners outside who are still cleaning, whether it's snow, whether it's
Man,
raining.
for me, what I think is crazy is that, you know, again, maybe I'm definitely a conspiracy theorist, so let's put that out there in it. That's what I am. Yeah, I mean, but for sure, I feel like if somehow celebrities and athletes and whatever are getting tested for this virus, and they come out to say, "Oh yeah, I've got the virus, stay indoors," you just think, why are the NHS staff not being tested to see if they have the virus? And us as, just regular everyday people not getting the test for this virus. If
Mm,
celebrities and athletes can get the test, why isn't it there for the NHS?
mm,
So definitely big up the NHS workers, which put their lives at risk. And not only their lives, let's not forget, they go out to work and then come back home, so they are
mm,
effectively putting their families' lives at risk as well, to
mm,
keep others safe. You know what I mean? So big up everyone in the NHS, no
Yeah,
matter which department you're working in, because I mean, or which aspect of the NHS you're working in, because at the end of the day, you're coming into contact with people you don't know. You know what I mean?
mm.
And you don't know where they've come from,
It's
who they
true.
visited,
It's
all of that.
true. True. I think NHS. I feel like NHS. Police. Firemen. Key workers. People who just sort of serve the communities every single day. Again, they have. There's no off season. There's no time where they can get time off, because I think when you're dealing with people and dealing with incidents in a world, it can happen at any time.
Anytime.
So you've got to be on your guard at any time. But I feel as if, especially when it comes to NHS, they have been taken for granted. I think the workers do, get taken for granted quite a lot. But it's times like this where you really learn to sort of appreciate what they do for us,
Yeah,
you
100%.
know. But at the same time, I mean, somebody put up an interesting quote. They were like, I think I don't know what country she was in, but she was saying that neurosurgeons get paid a significant amount less than athletes.
You know, yeah,
Yeah, we
I'm gonna
expect
pause
them.
you
We
right there.
expect
I'm
them
gonna
to.
pause you. I'm gonna. I know. We all know. Everyone who's gonna be watching this or hearing this, all knows
Mm,
what you're gonna be saying. And I'm gonna be the first to say that. Look, I totally get that these guys save lives. These guys do this, this, and that. But the industries are totally different. Like they're
mm,
totally different. It's just it is what it is. Them guys. Like, look, let's be honest. The guys which are doing the same thing but doing it privately are on footballer salaries.
mm,
You understand? You
mm,
know, it's just the ones which are doing it for public services are not. So if that's what you want and you want to get, at least, I don't know, a League Two footballer salary, you know what I mean? Or maybe even a League One footballer salary, go private, and go and do all of that stuff, go and be in cosmetic, beauty, and things of that type. They make a hell of a lot of money. But if
mm.
if you're working publicly, no matter what field, it's not even just NHS stuff. We're talking about social workers as well. We're talking about public servants, which maybe work at the Citizens Advice Bureau and things like that. They're valuable people within society, but because it's a public service, they're going
Mm.
to get paid what the government can afford to pay them. If you
Yeah.
want more money, go private. That's
Yeah, I agree. I think I think their pay is it's always been an issue. It's always been an ongoing issue. Not just them, but look at TFL. We've had to go on strike numerous times over the years. It's always been an issue. Working for for the public because they feel as if they're not valued as well. But again, you have mentioned that there are other options should they want to seek something different. But I think the case of entertainers or athletes being paid higher than people who serve us day in day out, that is a valid point.
it,
Is a
it's
valid
it's
point.
it's
I mean,
it's not. It's
they
To me, it's not valid. It can't and never will be valid. You know what I mean?
well, see, I don't know. I mean, look, when it comes to okay, industries are different. Entertainers, they will have their schedule where, you
That's
know,
right.
they're. But at the same time, do you feel as if they're look, yeah, okay, footballers or athletes, they do have times where okay, they might play through the snow, they might play through the rain and stuff. But you've got people who deal with mental health patients who again put their lives at risk
Dude, we're
to
not.
deal with
We
patients
hear
who
that. We hear
potentially.
that. But look, we hear that. But it's not the same. We're comparing apples with oranges.
Why it's not the same? Why do you feel as if? Why do you feel like people who I think listen the fame that people entertainers and athletes get comes down to us as people because we make these
Precisely.
people. We
If
we
we
go we
made
pay. I've been guilty. We go to football matches. We
right,
pay for merchandise.
right,
We watch movies in the cinema and stuff.
right,
But at the same time, we feel as if yeah, we do that because we want something to enjoy as well. Life is
right,
about enjoying something, and they go out and play football for to our entertainment. People go and
right.
record movies for us to watch it and to enjoy it. But at the same time, you feel as if people who work day in, day out, night in, night out, morning, whatever it is, to go out to save people's lives, you feel as if they should be held at the same pedestal as those people who are athletes.
Morally, they are held at a higher esteem. Do you
Mm,
understand?
yeah.
You know, so morally, we know that you guys are awesome. You know what I mean?
But do you
Far
say it?
more, far awesome.
Do we say it as much though?
We don't because we take it for granted. We take for what they do for
Yeah,
granted.
like I mentioned,
To be
we take it
fair,
for granted.
we also take athletes for granted as well because at the end of the day, on these particular days, this person's going to entertain me, and you don't quite really care. You know what I mean? Let's be honest, you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it comes down to industry, we're talking about, I don't know how many people pay a Sky Sports subscription, right? But I like to think maybe 70, maybe 60, 70% of men in this country have a Sky Sports subscription at home, you know,
Mm.
and that's not just for football, or yeah, I mean, like that's across all sports. You know what
You
I mean?
got pay-per-views and stuff as well. So
Pay-per-views and all of that
yeah,
stuff. So you're talking about boxers, um, runners,
UFC,
you know, like all of that. You know what I
was
mean? Covers all of that. You know, and so the industry is just pumped with money. It's lucrative. If you get in there at any level, you know what I mean, you're gonna be pretty much just fine. But that same type of money is not pumped into the industry of public services, and that's where
Sure, it's not, and that's where they're making a mistake because, as you said, we have these things where we honor athletes, we have these music awards, TV awards, sports awards,
maybe
but
that's a good idea.
having annual events to honor. I think sometimes they do. You might have those personality of the year awards where they give it to people who might have worked as in the army before and they've been
But
retired and they've been
it's not
honored.
as
But
fair.
that's not, it's not as fair because
Yeah,
it's. But I think having annual, awards to honor, people who serve us day to day, that would be. I
that'll
think
be dope.
that's fair. Do you know what I mean?
That's fair.
Because again, we are having these things, these awards to honor movie stars and TV actors and musicians and athletes. So having the same thing for those who serve us in the public, people who we take for granted, by the way, a lot. I think that'd be great.
I agree. I
And
agree. You know, and maybe even if they don't do it as um, a big thing where they find one top doctor or nurse or whatever in the NHS,
yeah,
they can at least make it local. You know, so it's local to the community you're serving in. You know,
yeah,
or whatever.
or make it like a branch. Like, okay, if you live in Homerton, okay, Homerton Hospital might be,
Yeah, yeah,
they might have won it for this year. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Just
Like
recognizing people's efforts, I guess.
yeah, for the whole
Yeah,
hospital, that
yeah,
this
yeah,
hospital was, hospital of the year in this. And,
yeah.
it might actually improve standards because if everyone knows that it's kind of like a competition, you got no choice but to up your levels, right? You know what I
That
mean?
is true. Yeah, that is very true. To be honest. Yeah, that could definitely work though. But yeah, again, look, massive, thanks to NHS staff who are working very, very hard at this time to ensure that everyone's healthy. But yeah, man, we're in lockdown now. I mean, what are you doing for the lockdown? Like, how are you keeping entertained
Yeah,
during
I
this?
mean, entertained, Netflix. Please in the comments, if you got any shows, movies, please let me
Just let
know
us know.
about it.
I mean, what are you watching so far though? Anyway.
Um, there's something called 100 Humans, so it's like almost like a documentary style thing where
Hmm.
they take a sample of 100 humans and they pretty much run them through loads of different tests. And one which I thought was quite
Yeah.
interesting was that women are more risky, or let me put it this way, men are more risk adverse than women. And they've done a test and they proved it. Women take more risk than men. So I was thinking, wow,
Oh, do
that's
they?
interesting. I actually thought it was the other way around, So, what they did to kind of figure that one out was they gave everyone a balloon and they told them that the person who can blow the balloon up to the biggest size would win $100. And the women
Hmm.
ended up bursting more balloons than men. So they figured that women would, kind of push it that extra, bit to see if they can get,
Yeah.
maximum out of something. So I thought, oh, that's a really
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
one. And then
It's
they
kind of
also,
that's interesting because I always
yeah,
thought women would probably be the more cautious type to sort of take less risk and be more safe, I guess.
it's what I thought. I was thinking, oh man, guys have got this one easy, but absolutely not. Then they went and did another one, which I'm sure our listeners and viewers will find interesting, is who gets ready fastest, men or women? And what do you think that is, Richard? Who do you think gets ready the
Well,
fastest?
I think men, but I'm guessing you're going to say women get ready quickest.
Precisely, so they've gone on and debunked that theory, that myth. Yeah, I mean that.
But how do I mean? I don't know. It depends. It depends on the woman you live with, though. It doesn't it? I think. I don't know really. I think because I would think that men will take. For me personally, I'm very organized. If I'm going to go somewhere, I've got everything lined up of what I'm going to wear. If I'm meeting somebody at 6, I'm ready by like 5:15. So I'm very, very sort of organized. I think that us as men, just get some clothes on and just go. Really, I mean, obviously you want to make yourself look presentable and nice, but you're not going to take 2 hours to get ready. So I'm a bit surprised, but I do feel as if it depends on the woman you live with or the woman that you're with. They
Yeah,
might
I,
take
I
a
guess
time.
so. I guess so. But the women want that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. So great show. You know what I mean? It's on Netflix.
Interesting show, very interesting show.
go check that out. 100 Humans.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And
mm,
there's
mm.
loads of other experiments. I won't ruin it if you're interested in watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go tune in and
Tune into that one. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But I think, this lockdown, I think it's I think online content is definitely it's entertaining us. You got YouTube, you got Netflix. I think you got
yeah, man.
Disney Plus now, which have just launched, which
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Heard.
quite a lot. They've got a lot of Marvel content, which I do enjoy. But I think everybody's sort of like going towards the online stuff, whereas there's other activities that you can do throughout this lockdown to perhaps keep occupied. I think I was talking to one of my former colleagues at work, and she recently bought a puzzle, a
That's a good one.
Marvel 1,000-piece puzzle.
That's a good one.
And I thought that was a really good idea because that is something that will keep your brain engaged or keep you thinking. Whereas if we're constantly on social media or constantly watching, Netflix, I mean, yeah, we're killing time, but you know, at the same time, we're hoping that this does blow over pretty quickly, and then you'll be going back to work again. So
Some people
I
are
think
hoping not to go
activities.
back to work, though.
That is true. That is true. But I think I mean, if somebody else who's listening to us is struggling to find something to do, I think there's loads of things you can do. You can, again, the puzzles is a good thing, a good idea. One of my colleagues right now, she recently wrote a blog about um, fitness apps that she uses to keep herself on the go. Because obviously you can't go to the gym now,
Yeah, of
whereas there's
course.
a
Yeah.
few apps that she can use to do home workouts and stuff like that. So if you're into your fitness, home workouts is a good option. I know Joe Wicks is very famous for conducting home workouts for younger
Mhm.
people now. I think he
They got
does
that Peladrone or Pelad something, you know what I mean?
stuff
Where,
like that. I think he does PE lessons every morning for kids now, so they can join in and stuff. So if you're looking to sort of kill time, there's other things you can do. You can read books. You can take an online course, for example. If you're looking to get into a specific profession, there's online courses
might as
available
well, boy. Prep your
you can
future now.
take. That's
You
the
know what
thing.
I
You've
mean?
got time, so why not? You know what I mean? So if you like podcasts, we're doing one right now. So keep listening. Do you know what I mean? Don't turn off,
Share,
please.
share, 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 share,
Do you
share.
know what I mean? So there's things you can do really. So it's not just about, sort of listening to music, and those are all good things and those are all entertainment. But if you look for something a bit more interesting, a bit more challenging, maybe reading a new book, maybe if you're somebody, I like
That's
to
what I'm
write
getting into, man.
content.
Yeah, man.
I
Yeah,
like to write content. So maybe if you've got a personal blog you're looking to sort of, include content for, it might be worth going back to your blog and writing content for that. If you like graphics, improve your graphic design skills. So there's loads of things that we can do really. So this lockdown, of course, it seems like a massive burden right now, but I feel as if under normal circumstances, all the things we're mentioning now, you couldn't do those if you're going to work Monday to Friday and be on weekends and stuff. So the time you've got now at home, if you have got things you want to do, this is the perfect time to really sort of commit yourself and learn a new skill. Maybe if you want to cook more, do more cooking. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? Can't order online. You know, you
Maybe
know.
you can. I don't know.
I think you can. I think some places you can, but I think the major chains, I think they've all sort of put restrictions down now,
Mm.
so you can't order. But I think, look, again, if you're obviously you're from ours, if you're like African like we are, you know, it's very important to cook food at home, isn't it? You know, we got to do it. But like we can learn, again, learn a new skill. You know what? Learn cook more. Do something different. I guess.
It's true. You're right, man. I definitely feel like It's see it more as an opportunity. This whole
Yeah.
lockdown thing. Discover yourself in a different way. Discover your wife in a different way. Your girlfriend, if you live
Mm,
together, whatever. You know what I mean?
mm.
And figure it out. And plan for the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Pretty much.
you know, don't waste the time. Don't
Because
just
that's
be
that is
sitting.
key.
You
I
know.
think obviously because you're near 30 now, so
Come on,
like
mate. What are you trying
you
to
know
say, bro?
about.
What are you trying to say? You
When
calling
you
me
say
out,
don't,
yeah?
when you say don't waste time, I
Calling
100%
me out,
understand what you
yeah?
mean. Oh no, no, I think obviously we're learning to appreciate our lives, isn't it? So hitting nearly 30 is a very important milestone there. So I think there's nothing but excitement for you lying forward. So I think you should be well excited, mate. But,
Yeah, no. And speaking of excitement, quickly, yeah. Speaking of excitement, the life without sport is really boring, bro. Like, what the heck?
honestly,
You know what I mean?
honestly, I was looking on Saturdays and I was thinking. Usually, I watch Football Focus at 12, and I watched Jeff Dillon on Gillette Soccer Special. Match of the Day, Super Sunday, all that stuff is just gone now. And
Oh,
I've been watching a lot of Premier League because I know they've got YouTube content. They've got Sky Football, they've got the Premier League channel as well. So I've been just trying to keep entertained with um, those content really, and just looking back at old football as well, because a lot of channels now are showing like classic matches from the past. And I like what some clubs are doing now, because some clubs have actually like for example, at United, they give the fans a chance to vote for their favorite classic match for a particular time. So recently, they did one of I think favorite games against Arsenal, and the fans could vote to see the fans could vote for their favorite match against Arsenal. I think there's 4 options,
What?
and yeah, so that was one actually won actually.
I knew it.
And they'll show that match live at 7 o'clock on their website for free. So I think that's a good thing to keep people engaged and keep fans sort of in the loop really, because I think it's been what 3 weeks now, 4 weeks
Yeah, man. It feels
with
like
no
it's been
football,
a
so
lot
no
longer.
sport. Yeah,
Jeez, withdrawal symptoms and all of that, bro. It's mad.
trust me, honestly. I think even you like to play football on Saturdays as well, so it must be affecting
I was
you.
so looking forward to it last
Pretty.
Saturday, right? And I was thinking, I'm praying, I'm hoping. On the Friday, it's like, please, Boris, don't lock it off. Don't lock it off, please, Boris. Because I just came back from holidays. I ain't played in a couple of weeks. I was like, Boris, please, don't lock it off. I really want to play. Boris, please don't do it. Boris, no.
And he said, official UK lockdown. You thought, nah,
It's like
this
yeah,
this guy. But listen, at the end of the day, all this stuff. Look, I think there's more important things than
bro.
than
I mean, we
football.
say that, but sport is a big part of the mental health, bro.
It does, yeah. I think it's like it's like you don't think about it, but because when you're so used to doing something all the time, it becomes part of your life. Really, it's literally part of your life.
It's part of the structure. It's like, this is how I organize my life. I mean, look what you just said about, watching Soccer AM and this, that. Like, you have it real organized, and now that's not there. Like, are you not tripping, bro? Like, are you not
I'm tripping because you go to turn on Sky Sports Premier League and there's nothing on there. They're showing
right now? We should
showing Premier League liers and stuff. It's like it's weird, and it's again the thing is if every season when it hits June, July, there's no football on. You know that
you can accept that.
You can accept that. But even this year, there's meant to be the Olympics and the European Championships.
Go on.
And now that's been put on hold now because of what's going on. So it's not even just the Premier League season or the UFC or the boxing. There's major sporting events that, again, these events don't happen every year, by the way. These take every 4 years. Euros are every 4 years, Olympics every 4 years. So these events that people are specifically preparing for, to take part in.
Yeah.
And now this is just completely. You think about our routines. I mean, these guys, these athletes, these Olympians are training every single day for 4 years,
bruv. 4 years, and then you get told coronavirus. You're like, what? Okay.
What's going on? Honestly, do you know what I mean? So, us as fans, yes, 100%. But again, those athletes who go out and entertain us, as you mentioned before, they're the ones who probably are feeling it the most now because it's part of their routine to train every day. It's part of their routine to do what they love, really. So,
all right, what we're gonna do?
Difficult, man.
What we're gonna do? Yeah, quickly, because of time restrictions and all of that. You know what I mean? Give me the 3 teams you think are gonna get relegated and your top 4. Quickly, you got 30 seconds. Go.
Okay, top 4: Liverpool, Man City, Leicester will finish in the top 4, and I think United will be there. I think with Bruno Fernandes, Igalo.
All right, he's lying. Give me your relegation zone. He's lying. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Give me the relegation zone.
No. What do you mean? All right. Okay, so relegation. I've got down there Norwich. I think there's just too many points below to catch up. I think West Ham are in trouble, but I think their squad's good enough to stay up. But I still feel as if they might be in trouble.
10 seconds.
And who else have we got on there? I've forgotten the teams.
Like, you got Brighton, you got Villa. You got Bournemouth.
Villa. No, Bournemouth will go down. Bournemouth have done really well since they've been promoted, but I think now they're struggling this season badly, and I'm not seeing them. Usually they sort of play their way out of trouble, but I think now they just can't seem to find momentum from anywhere. So I feel they're in trouble. So I think Norwich, Villa, and Bournemouth going down. And top 4, I think Leicester will finish off. I think United. Trust me, I think with Bruno, Pogba to come back as well. I'm not being blunt. I'm just saying it.
Got you moving a different way, bruv. Yeah, I mean.
Okay, but who's your prediction?
Real quick, my prediction: Liverpool finish it off. Man City, I believe it'll be then Leicester, Chelsea, and then I think United, and then the rest will follow. Leicester, Chelsea, that could rotate, but I think that's definitely the top 4. And my relegation zone, I think, will be Villa. I forgot who the other team is, and Norwich. You know what I mean? So I think Villa, whoever in Norwich. Yeah, I mean, I think.
Yeah, I think Norwich. I think Norwich when they first started, they played really good football, but I just felt as if they sort of lost too many games. They're just
You
too
got
many points
15
behind.
seconds, bro.
Really.
15 seconds. Sign us out. Sign us out.
So listen, look, it's not been a great start to 2020, but listen, we're here from now onwards. Keep listening, keep liking, keep sharing, and more positivity.
That's what's up.